Hi, this is Kim Pinkney and welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so today I'm going to be working on Inosuke, one of the characters in Kimetsu no Yaiba, and he's one of my favorites. Yesterday I had a bit of a live stream where I primed the left sleeve here for painting, and then as I was going I was adding the color. So that is what I am doing now. Again, if you missed the live stream, which I believe a lot of people will, it's pretty long, at least 2 hours long. It took me about 2 hours to get this far. I was very meticulous at the very top, and then took my time you know, trying to make sure that I got my layers in. This paint here is pretty thin, and you can still see the white. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do the same thing as I did when I primed it. I'm going to do a little bit at a time, throwing like a first layer down, and then going to apply heat, and then add the second and third layer. Heat makes it go a lot faster. Only downside is that it has this rough texture to it. It's like my heat gun is so hot that it seems to dry the paint and then kind of melt it a bit, which I'm not too upset about. Once I have all my layers on, if it feels like it's sandpaper, if it has like that kind of texture to it, I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of smooth it out, and it works pretty good. Just got to make sure you have enough layers on so that, you know, the sandpaper doesn't take off and bring you back down to square one. Just enough to take out the bumps, you know, kind of make it smooth. And the paint that I'm kind of using here is very similar, or the paint that I am using, very similar to acrylic. As a matter of fact, the skin tone here is acrylic mixed in with fabric paint, and I've had no problems with that type of thing, you know, mixing acrylics with fabric paint to get what I need. And I also mixed in some orange fabric paint along with a flesh tone of acrylic, and I bought it all at Walmart. So all these things that you see, even the paintbrushes here, I picked up at Walmart. So nothing super expensive, nothing super high-end. The only thing that was high-end was the pencils that I used to draw with, and even then I think they were only like maybe $2 or $3. Hey, Tatted Hearts. Let's see. So I'm just going to get as far as the little lid that I'm using. And the lid that I'm using is from a Chinese restaurant. You know, you use what you got. I don't put in, I don't put this against like a, what is that called? An easel or anything like that. I'm using a lid because it is kind of got a square to it, got a little bit of arms here, and it also has that back. I've got it kind of pulled across the two arms, you know, like the sides here, so I have an opening underneath. When you paint, you don't apply a whole lot of pressure to your paints. You know, you're pretty much like dabbing and just rubbing it across. You know, you're not like, you know, putting your weight on it and getting it in there. So, so the theory of it all is I could tighten this here, and the paint will stay on top of the fabric, rather than, if something is beneath it, it has a tendency of being drawn down to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my mic for a sec, and I will be using my hair dryer, which will work too, and probably even just as effective as my hot air gun. So bear with me. I'm going to be doing that several times. Let me turn this.
We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up our love friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna. Yeah, we just wanna have fun. The trunk's full of wine. We're gonna stay up, have the time of our lives. The night is young, don't need anybody else. We came to party all night long.
Alrighty, so usually about 2 or 3 layers are pretty good, but just for giggles, I'm gonna probably do about 3 or 4. And Tatted Hearts, to your question, ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Gracias. ¿Y tú? Yeah, I've come from California, so I did pick up some of the lingo. Now, I confess this paint is a couple days old. I was using it on the main picture, and I want to use it before it goes really bad. I've had it in a container, and it seems to be okay. Usually, if it's not in a container, it'll solidify and become pretty much useless. Um, and despite my best efforts, it still has this raised texture to it, and it's okay. I think that's from the heat that's just kind of making it raise up, but I know that it's getting into the fabric and into the other paint layer, so this would be a good candidate. And also, the fabric itself has fuzz and stuff like that on it. I did not wash this before I did this painting, and I rarely do that. Usually I just go right on into it, but it is advised to wash your fabric first before you paint, supposedly to get the sizing off, but I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass. It's just fine. I got this. I got this. You know, if I'm doing a shirt for somebody else, yeah, maybe I'll go that extra step and wash it first. But I noticed that you really don't need to when you do markers. And I'm only really just paying attention to this because it's pretty obvious about the bumpy texture. Even if I'm going in the same direction, even if I'm waiting until it's dry, it still will appear. So, like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of rub it against it just a little bit, and it'll smooth it out really nice. You'll still see those bumps, but it won't feel like crap. Okay, I'm going to switch again. Alright, so I'm noticing that I'm the one that's causing all the raised bumps here. When I apply the heat, my heat gun is so hot that it's just creating these bumps. You can just see them like appear. It's insane. But I'm not worried about it. It's gonna look good. And I don't know if you guys can see the texture. You see the little bumps and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna dry with that texture. So I'm gonna go through and just with a little scraper, not scraper, I'm sorry, sandpaper, and just kind of smooth it out. The bumps will still be there, but you won't feel them. It'll be just kind of like a uniform type of thing. And if you want to avoid the bumps from happening, just let it air dry. Get it underneath the fan and let it air dry if it bothers you that much. I am putting like really thick layers on here. Pretty much because of the paint itself is really super thin, and I don't want to see any of the white. I don't want to see any of the black peeping through. Alright, so I won't need this anymore until I get to the feet. Okay, so let me pause this. Yeah, and the feel of this, it feels like vinyl. If you've ever like rubbed your hand against vinyl, that's what it feels like that plasticky feel. Let's see. So let's see. I need yellow or like an off kind of yellow. Let's see if I've got my other paints in here. I was looking for this. Alright, that's not it. I might have taken it into the living room with me when I was painting there. Let's see. I don't see any of those paints. I don't have the blue. Let's see. What do I have? Is there anything else I can be working on? I don't have any of those colors with me. Okay. Only other color I have is the one I'm going to use for his shadows. So I can at least work on that. And then I'll put this guy to the side. When I'm ready, I'll bring all these other colors out. But I do want to take care of the shadow paint as well before that goes bad. Now the shadows in his face, and if I might need to jump up and go get the black. There we go. This is our hero. I never understood, well, I can't say I never understood, but his whole thing is that he's fighting demons. Demons are created by other demons, and it's humans that are converted, and this guy seems to have a lot of empathy for converted humans. But yet he kicks their butt. It's like, but the whole premise is that he's trying to help his sister, who has been turned into a demon, and is trying to find a cure for her. So he has to beat up other demons in order to help find the cure. interesting. It's a double-edged sword for a guy that's kind of sweet and kind and gentle, you know. So it's anime's brutal. I love it. Okay, it gives no Fs. That's what I had to put. I had to make a shirt that says anime gives no Fs. All right, so let's find his picture. Let's see, the one I am using. He's got a bit of shad. Ooh, I forgot about his tattoo, and I don't have my brown near me. Ooh, but I do have a pink. I can at least work on the pig nose. Okay, but I digress. Let me do as much of the gray as I can. Let's see. Let me zoom in. There we go. So I mixed up something yesterday. It looks kind of like a silver. It's the gray is, let's see if how it looks on here. And I gotta put his little birthmark there. Just put it on really lightly at first here. He's got a little bit in his eyes here. He's got a little bit right here for his nose. Yeah, a little bit in his eye. And then down here. And then right here. He'd have some in his ear as well, but can't see his ear. So I'm gonna use my hair dryer, my hot air gun, da, 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 and go ahead and do this. Now it works out pretty good that his mask also has a bit of a shadow to it as well. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and put a little bit of shade here. And it works. It also works out well that this paint is pretty thin. So I can get it to look a little bit, I don't want to say transparent, but yeah. Okay, so I'm using like shorter bursts on here, uh, particularly because this heat gun is pretty hot right now. Yeah, this is as white as my paint would get without using the painter's paint, like this right here. So once I applied that, I applied it to the whites of his eyes, his teeth, some bits right here, and you see the difference between my two paints here. The my paint was just not getting it. It was just not getting white as I wanted it to. All right. I'm going to hit this with some heat, and then I'm going to move down towards his hands. His hands also have that kind of shadow to it as well.
Yeah, I'm restless, so give me something to do. Yeah, I can't stay here because I need to dance. Jump around and show 'em how I move. Everybody will be on me, wanna join me when I take a shot. I'll be the center of attention like I was some kind of astronaut. Cause I'm shooting for the moon tonight, and I got a feeling I'm gonna crash some stupid party. Tear the ceiling down in front of everybody. If someone's pouring up a drink, I'm calling shawty. I'm gonna find a crown so I can put it on me. Swinging from the chandeliers, I won't be sorry.
Alrighty, to get the color variation, what I did is when I applied my base, I didn't put as much on the hands. So I put a lot at the top, but when it came to the shadows, I kind of left it not as white. So I would do layer upon layer up here, and maybe one or two layers in between, and that helps me keep that shadow going. Alright, so now I need to add my first layer here. Alrighty, so this one layer should do it for the shadows here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of this color here before I hit it with a blast of heat. About right here, just to give it this part of his wrist. Got a little bit much on there. Let's see if I can take some of it off. And it's pretty easy to fix this stuff. If you ever make a mistake, you just go back over it with white and then use your colors again over the parts that, you know, you might have messed up. Black is a little harder, but not impossible. Like right here, I might end up having to just go ahead and put white over the green here. Kind of give the shadows a little bit more smooth color there. All right. Okay, so I'm going to hit this with some heat, and then I'm going to go and see if I can find my black and hit like his hair while I'm on this side. And just touching it a bit right before it hardens. I'm just trying to smooth it a bit. Just kind of working it while it's hot into itself. And that seems to work a little bit too. Take some of the bumpiness out. There we go. Now while it's hot like that, it's kind of pliable. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to get a little bit of black and take care of that spot right there. Okay, I'll be right at the back. Oh, this thing is heavy. It's like, it's a 3X shirt, and I'm trying to squeeze it into like a my little desk here. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I found frustrating about finding source material is that not all the pictures that I found were cohesive. Like in his eyes, I see pictures where he's got purple eyes, and then I look again and he's got brown eyes. And it's like, I can't frickin' win. Can't win, I can't win. Okay, so I just go with my gut or watch the show again and get the official color. And I guess it just depends on what lighting is around that will determine what colors things will be. Alright. Okay, so I wish it was cold. I wish it was cold weather right now. That way I could wear this. Oh, like, yeah, I made it myself. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. And it's fun to come across anime fans, people you didn't think were anime fans or would be anime fans. It's like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And it tickles me when I'm on the bus and I see somebody who's watching an anime. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I love it, I love it. And it's kind of cool. A lot of kids are growing up with anime. Disney used to be my thing. Hey, Adeline, how you doing? Disney was my thing that I was growing up with. Well, everybody's got Disney. I don't think there's going to be anybody on the planet now who hasn't grown up or had Disney in their life, like Superman. You know, everybody now has had Superman in their life. You know, and he's been around for what, over 60 years, if not more. It's insane. Man's wearing the same clothes, and they tried to change it up. But yeah, it's kind of cool to have something that lasts through the ages, beyond your life. It's pretty cool to have something that iconic. Okay, so black usually shows up really super well on here. Black on black shows up pretty good without having to prime it. So here's the black paint, and then here's the black, and the t-shirt, the shirt itself, the hoodie. Um, it looks like a flat color, so you can use that to your advantage if you were ever like doing your own hoodie. Make sure I'm in the camera here. I'm so notorious for being outside the camera. There we go. Alrighty. And I think I brought Brown in here so I can at least play with his, what do you call it, damn thing. I can put his scar on. Let's see, we'll bring a little bit more. We'll probably have some brown to break up some of this black. Okay. And in the meantime, while I've got this out, I can hit some of these other spots. Like this is his shirt. Let's see, this is black, so I need to get the green again as well. Yeah, I think all my spots that were meant to be black, I'm gonna go ahead and hit those as well. If I do it light enough, I can probably take this with me on the bus and it'll dry before I have to put it away. I would hope. Or I'll probably just bring my fabric markers. They're easier to handle and they dry a lot faster than the paint. Plus I won't have to have water with me to, clean my brush. A lot more portable. 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 the Kim. Okay. Alright. I still got like 15, 20 more minutes, so let's keep going. Let me go ahead and hit this stuff with the heat. Bear with me, if you will. There you go.
to see. You're the honest I'll ever be. I'm so sorry I never stayed. Overreact and just walk away. Take me back to the place I know. I have the power to let things go. I'm so lost I can't see the shore. You know what that means? We've been here before. Mind and body just can't agree on what I should do when I don't feel free. You're not holding me back, I know. We're young and we never take things slow. I lose my self-restraint. I think we're done, then you have no faith. I calm down and watch it grind. And though it is
Alrighty. Okay, so the color on the inside of his nostrils is more of a darker pink or mauve color. So I'm going to see if I can make a little bit of that with this brown, since I no longer need the pink. The pink has served its purpose. It's time to move on. I got about 20 minutes and then I got to hit the happy trail. So let's see what we can, if we can make a dark pink just for his nostrils. I probably should use like a purple. Let's see, is that tone about right? Nope. Got too much brown on here. It's almost there. Let's see, come on, give me darkness. Not quite there. I need more of a purple. Let me try it on a different area. Ooh, that's almost there. But really, it does need a bit of purple. Let's see. Do I have a purple nearby? Why, yes, I do. Okay, let me put that. Let's see. I am all over the place. I use tulip fabric markers, but also tulip fabric paints. Soft is better. Handy art. This stuff needs to be heat treated. And Arteza, which is the bomb. I gotta tell you, it is the bomb. But you know, I think this brown color I can use on his scar. Ooh, let me heat this. I think it's a perfect scar color. Let me see. I love those happy accidents. Alright, let's see. And we don't need too much of that. Where's my source image again? Let's see. I think that'll work. Just kind of keep it jagged. Not quite a lightning scar, but it'll do, pig. It'll do. And apparently, looking at the anime, his dad has the same type of scar as well. It's like, I don't think I have enough for what I want to do. That's okay. I think this will work. And we'll use a little bit of brown to fill in some of the gaps. And it's funny, nobody ever talks about his birthmark. If there's any significance to it or anything like that. It's an interesting little character design. Okay, I'm going to apply some heats. So I got to turn off my sound here. All right, lovely. Okay, so let me put that. I'm gonna put this in here. All right, so we shall play with some of these other things later. Let's see. This is black, so I'll probably end up using a fabric marker on this. Let's see. This is kind of like that off gray, and this is definitely gray. Maybe kind of with some black in it. I'll play with that too. All right, a lot of work ahead, a lot of work, but we're good ways away, good ways in. All right, you guys, thank you so much for popping in and joining me, giving me a giggle here and there, my bad Spanish, my even worse Japanese. And if you like what you see and would like to see more, definitely drop me a line. Let me know what you think. And what I mean by a line, you can either leave a message in any of the comments, whatever video that you want, just go ahead and leave me a comment. I get all of them and I read them. Those that aren't, you know, kind of hidden by YouTube itself. But yeah, I basically get just about all the comments. And if you like to see me do something besides, you know, my anime or whatever crazy stuff that comes to my rabbit ass mind, just let me know. I'm going to be working on this character a little bit more later. I just got to match some colors together, and then do the details. And once I've put his tones down, once I find that perfect mauve color, I'm going to, I also have to do his blue eyes as well. And I don't have anything small enough for those eyes. Oh, tragedy. Okay, so I will see you guys on tomorrow. I have to go and earn some money so I can, you know, keep funding my habits here. You guys have a great one and be super in your world. Take care. Bye-bye.